Chapter 4 The Making of a Global World, Part 3. What attracted the Europeans to Africa? The Europeans were attracted to Africa because of its abundant land and minerals. The European employers found it difficult to recruit labor in Africa because it had abundant land and a relatively small population. For centuries, land and livestock sustained Africans' livelihood, and people rarely worked for wages. Therefore, heavy taxes were imposed, which could be paid only by working for wages on plantations and mines. Inheritance laws were exchanged so that peasants were displaced from land. Only one member of a family was allowed to inherit land, as a result of which others were pushed into the labor market. Mine workers were confined to the compounds. They were not allowed to move out as freely. Three main destinations of Indian indentured migrants. The main destinations of Indian indentured migrants were the Caribbean islands, mainly Trinidad, Guyana, Suriname, Mauritius and Fiji. The Tamil migrants went to Ceylon and Malaya. The indentured workers were also recruited for tea plantation in Assam. Three forms of cultural fusion, which was the part of the making of the global world. Different forms of cultural fusion were part of the making of the global world in the following manner. With the migration of Indian indentured laborers to the Caribbean, we witnessed increased intermingling of social and cultural traits. For example, in Trinidad, the Muharram procession was transformed into a new carnival called Jose, in which workers from different religions participated. Similarly, the protest religion Rastafarianism is also said to reflect social and cultural links with Indian migrants to the Caribbean. Chutney music, popular in Trinidad and Guyana, is another creative contemporary expression of the post-indenture experience. These forms of cultural fusion are part of the making of the global world, where things from different places get mixed, lose their original characteristics and became something entirely new. What do you mean by indentured labor? Indentured labor means a bonded laborer under contract to work for an employer for a specific amount of time to pay off his passage to a new country or home. But workers discovered their own ways of surviving. Many of them escaped into the wilds, though if caught they faced severe punishment. Others developed new forms of individual and collective self-expression, blending different cultural forms, old and new. In Trinidad, the annual Muharram procession was transformed into a riotous carnival called Jose for Imam Hussein, in which workers of all races and religions joined. Three circumstances that compelled Indians and Chinese to work as indentured laborer in plantation and mining. In the mid-19th century, some regions of India witnessed the decline in cottage industries, land rents rose and lands were cleared for mines and plantation. There were also unemployment in China. People failed to pay their rent. They became deeply indebted and thus were forced to migrate as indentured laborers in search of work. The main destination of migrants were Caribbean islands. Migrants were also provided false information about living and working conditions. On arrival at the plantations, these laborers found the conditions harsh. There were a few legal rights. The indentured workers discovered their own ways of surviving. Many of them escaped into the wilds, though if caught, they faced severe punishment. Rinderpest. Rinderpest, or the cattle plague in Africa in the 1890s, a fast spreading disease of cattle plague or rinderpest, had a terrifying impact on people's livelihoods and the local economy. This is a good example of the widespread European imperial impact on colonized societies. It shows how, in this era of conquest, even a disease affecting cattle reshaped the lives and fortunes of thousands of people and their relations with the rest of the world. Rinderpest arrived in Africa in the late 1880s. It was carried by infected cattle imported from British Asia to feed the Italian soldiers invading Eritrea in East Africa. Entering Africa in the east, rinderpest moved west like a forest fire, reaching Africa's Atlantic coast in 1892. It reached the Cape, Africa's southernmost tip, 5 years later. Along the way, rinderpest killed 90% of the cattle.